Welcome back to the World Cyber Games 2009, the grand final live from Chengdu in China. You're live on quadv.com and worldcybergames.com. The South Pole Red Eye Challenger joined by Matt A-Spec Hoving, and we are already underway for what is the final game of the day. It's Trackmania, and it's the grand final, no less. Pezzy, Frostbuehler, Kayan and Bergie, and we're already underway. I'll explain the rules as we go through. It is a strange set, if you like, because actually what you do is you get 10 points for every lap you lead, 6 for second, 4 for third and 3 for fourth, and you carry on going as many laps as you can until someone reaches 50 points. The overall champion for Trackmania will be the man that reaches 150 points over the best of 5 races. Hope that's clear enough for you. Matt, take us away.
Indeed, here we are on Saffron. As we are already on the way with Kayan in the lead. Interestingly enough, Kayan was the person that qualified for Sweden. And interestingly enough, we have another Swede in this game, which is Frostbuehler, who's currently not on the track. I think he got bounced off earlier on. But he came in. Okay, that's interesting. Apparently we are going in arena mode.
Okay, so ignore what we said.
Yeah, the rules are a little bit dodgy apparently. We are playing lap mode instead of arena mode. For every win, they will get, for every map or every round, the first person that gets a 50 wins the map. As we are in round number 2 here on Saffron, Kayan take a lead. And that's what I was saying early on. Kayan was a qualifier player for for Sweden, with Frostbuehler in second. However, Frostbuehler came in and said, you know what guys, I really want to go, and WCG said, okay, you can go, but you have to pay for yourself. And apparently it's paid off, because here Frostbuehler is in the final.
I like the fact that they've put Pezzy in a Finnish car as well.
I think he put himself in a Finnish car. Yeah.
Anyway, Kayan leading the second race here, but Pezzy making a challenge on the outside. They have got ghost mode on mistake from Pezzy though, drops him back to 4th place. That's how critical it is in Trackmania. These guys are separated by just a couple of tenths, sometimes even a couple of hundredths of seconds, and a mistake like that bouncing off the wall can cost you 1st to 4th, and Pezzy in all sorts of trouble now. And Kayan wins, Frostbuehler 2nd, Dignitas Bergie in 3rd, and Pezzy last, and picking up 3 points. There's the ranks up to 2 then. 20 already for Kayan, Bergie with 10, Frost with 9, and the rest are trailing.
Indeed, as we're on round number 1, not round number 3 here on Saffron. Remember, 1st to 50 gets the game. And in comparison towards the pre-qualifier maps, these tracks are a lot more wider, but there's a lot more jumps here, so there's a lot more opportunity to go wrong. Those people who have been playing Trackmania more than once, you would know that if you take a jump in this game and you land incorrectly, you are pretty much screwed. And yeah, there we go.
Wow, that was Kayan that got back to 4th as well.
Indeed, Kayan just managed to misjudge the corner and hits the wall, and that's the jumps that you really have to take care of and make sure that you just hit them just correctly, or you will bounce off the track just like that, and he will lose out on his 10 points. And he's probably going to go for 3 unless something goes completely wrong. Pezzy currently still in the lead. He will probably pick this up. It's just between Bergie and Frostbuehler. Now, whoa, Bergie hits the side. That's a problem. It's just going to be Frostbuehler being picked up 2nd. It's like,
wow, Kayan's actually made his way through. So, although Pezzy's going to win, Kayan recovers to 3rd, and Pezzy, he really looked good in that 2nd round, and yet made a small mistake, and that dropped him out of contention. Look, he's back in it. He's got 17 points. He's only 7 adrift of Kayan now, who still leads with 24 after 3 rounds. And round 4 is underway, and Kayan gets the drop on Pezzy. Out front, these two look like the fastest two so far. Frostbuehler not too far away, and so far we've not really seen much from Bergie. But things can change as they are now. Bergie just nudged into the lead there as they went through turns 4. Kayan now out front again. Bergie and Pezzy very close behind. They've all landed safely. Through the twisty section once more, and over the blue carpet, through the hole in the floor. Kayan leading, Bergie 2nd, Pezzy in 3rd. Right-hander turn, and that's very tricky round there as well. Kayan continue to lead. We said we haven't seen much of Bergie. He's now making a look at this one. And Kayan out front once more, where he likes to be. Clear road ahead, no confusion with the ghost cars whatsoever from him. And as you can see, Frostbuehler is back in 4th place right now, quite a long way away. Pezzi in 3rd. But Kayan again looking for the lead and will win this one. Pezzi 2nd, Bergie 3rd. Very close between the two. And Kayan now moving to 34 points for this particular race. Pezzi 23, Frostbuehler 18, Bergie lagging behind. Did pick up a couple of extra points in that last one though, in 4th place.
It's interesting. It's interesting to note that Kayan is in 1st place, as someone predicted. However, Frostbuehler was predicted to do a little bit better than he's doing right now, holding up in 3rd, and Pezzi just doing just fine. It's not exactly what the community at large predicted, but it does make things a lot more interesting as Frostbuehler now in the lead, holding up. If he goes on like this, he will pick up his very first 10 points, and he is going to need that. And there they go. They're all close together. Kayan pulls back. Well, that's interesting, considering he's been leading the pack for most of the game so far. Frostbuehler still in 1st. Bergie trying to go down the middle. It's all about the sliding here. Up on towards the chicanes. No problem there. Frostbuehler still in the lead. Bergie a little bit wide, as he and Pezzi are fighting for 2nd and 3rd. Here we go. Frostbuehler a little bit slow there. Oh, Bo Bergie and Bo Pezzi just nudging the wall. And Frostbuehler is going to pick this up. Pezzi holding on towards the 2nd place though. And I do believe that he will be able to encroach on Kayan now.
Cat is down to 9 points thanks to that 2nd place from Pezzi. 38 for Kayan. He's 12 away from claiming the 1st race. Don't forget though, he still just gets the 50 points. Makes no real difference if he wins the race. It's just the end of the race on this 1st track, which is Saffron. Now they've moved on. I don't quite know why they've moved on, because no one's hit 50 yet. Interesting.
Yes. Apparently they've decided to move on towards the rules from the 1st stage rather than use the ones from the 2nd stage.
I think they've gone back to the 5-round rule. So
yep.
We weren't told, but nevertheless we are back underway, and we're back on Matto now. As Bergie stretches out front early on. Pezzi's going with him right now, and already Kayan has dropped back into 4th place here early on. Bergie out front for Norway. Frostbuehler in 2nd. Pezzi in 3rd. And Kayan down and out seemingly after 5 rounds on that 1st track. He led, of course, with 38 points, 9-point lead in the championship. First of 150 over the 5 tracks. Mistake there, and we're on board with Frostbuehler, and he made a mistake, and Kayan comes flying through, up in the 2nd place now. And Bergie is stretching his lead here. He's showing his true class in this 2nd race. Now this is where the championship really hots up, because if Bergie can get back in here and win a few races, he will get back in, and we are apparently in warm-up mode now. I don't know whether that was live or not, because well, they aren't going to show any points. It does say warm-up mode, and I don't think that's going to count.
No,
unfortunately.
No, we're going to do another warm-up track right now.
Warm-ups are plenty. We'll forgive us for making a few mistakes, because the rules are fairly unfamiliar to us, and although we've got the set of rules in front of us, they don't seem to be the ones they've decided to play.
Alright, we'll give you a bit of an update on those rules. They will switch maps after every 5 rounds. Yep. And at least that's what I can make out of it. And right now, well, they're also going back to arena mode instead of lap. So yeah, there you go. Every time they will go for 1 lap. First person that finish across finish the finish line. 10 points to him, 6, 4, and 3. And of course 0 for did not finish, in case somebody decides to fly off the track. We're going towards the WCG 09 Matto, which is a little more bendy a track, but has a lot of jumps that things really can go wrong on. And it has to be something you have to be watched out for. Especially the bit where you saw just now, especially here. If you go off the grass, if you hit the ramp here the wrong way, you will fly off here. It's an example of what happens when you go off. Like Frostbuehler does right now, you will get 0 points. Good luck, net funds are being exchanged.
Right, last 3 seconds then before we get underway. And this will be track number 2, round 1. Karjan leading the way with 38, Pezzi 29, Frostbuehler 28, Berge seemingly out of it on 20, but you know, it can change so quickly. Let's see whether Berge's got something in reserve here. He looked pretty good in warm-up. Let's see how we go then with race number 1 in the second track here on Matter. Very tight so far, no one really stretching out. Frostbuehler now taking the lead from Pezzi. Berge down the inside. Two Swedes are 1-2 right now. Oh, and Pezzi caught the central pillar, and that blocks him right back to 4th place. They're out of contention now. The two Swedes jostling for the lead, literally overlapping each other's cars. Berge holding station just behind them. Manages to get through the double pillars. Now underneath the bridge, Karjan ran wide. That gives Frostbuehler the lead. Berge then catches back up as well. Chance now for Berge, who looks like he's got the momentum here. Down the inside he goes. Brilliant little overtaking move out for Berge. He has got the lead finally. Frostbuehler right in close behind him. Also gaining on him now. Got a bit of momentum. Down towards the end of the track now. Berge, Frostbuehler, which one's it going to be? Down into the final couple of turns as they go through the right-hander. The big corkscrew at the top of the hill. Down towards the end of that. Frostbuehler wins just from Berge in second and Karjan in third. And Frostbuehler, well, he'll close the gap up a little bit more. Karjan, 42 points. Frostbuehler, 38 points. Pezzi, 32. And Berge, 26. The gap is now 4.
700th of a second was between those players. As we are underway on round number 2 here. As the players continue their epic battle through the tracks of Trackmania. As Berge appears to be doing a whole lot better on this track than he did before, although just as I says, he managed to hit the wall, which is a shame right there. Karjan in the chase on Frostbuehler and Pezzi. Through the corners, there's a jump. This is where it could go wrong. Not going to happen though. As Frostbuehler goes wide, as well as Pezzi. Oh, he is out for the count. He's not going to be going for the full points there. As he loses a lot of speed, the momentum is lost.
Oh!
And the split goes on the right. Frostbuehler doesn't make it, and Karjan, well, passes by, sticks out his hands. Goodbye, Frostbuehler. I'm going to pick up those 10 points if you don't mind. And here we go, on towards the final stretch of the map, through the chicane, down the lap. There it is. Through the last bend. There we go. There's the final. And hit set. Frostbuehler was pretty close behind him, though.
Berge just pinching third there. And that will add a few more points up. So Karjan winning again. 52 points now to 44. Place 35, place 30. And just when you thought the other players were catching back up, Karjan goes and sticks another win in the bag. Here we go then for round 3 on Matter. Already Karjan streaking out, but he's run a little wide in turn 3. Frostbuehler's now taken over. Berge just on the back here, trying to make sure he doesn't hit that pillar, and instead get a bit of momentum going up the hill. Again, it's the two Swedes who seem to favour this track. Frostbuehler landing slightly better than Karjan there, who've got the run on him. Now goes through the double pillars. Between these two so far. Here's the rankings on the screen. Karjan 52, Frostbuehler 44. These two out front in the championship so far. Starting to stretch away they are. Anything between these two. Karjan just with a slight lead here. Best time of 105.97 so far for Karjan. Times don't matter too much. They come up to the corkscrew at the top of the hill. They'll pile down through the last blue carpeted area, down towards the start-finish line. And Frost, wow, I thought that was a tie. That was actually a tie, 105.67, but they've given it to Karjan just. I don't know how they split them when they get exactly the same time like that, but nevertheless, they have given it to Karjan. But on the scoreboard, at least, it seems that they gave it to Frostbuehler because he got the 10 points for that. I'm not quite sure how that one works, but there we go. It is Frostbuehler that won that last race, and he's now closed the gap to 4.
It's quite clear that these two Swedes are a match for one another. They even proved that the Swedish qualifier that they could fight each other in the field with no problem. I believe the qualifier was 1/100th of a second difference in the final bit, and with a couple points. As well as Karjan takes the lead and Frostbuehler is right behind him. And there we go, the fight goes on. Berge decides to join in on this as well. But at the moment though, it's all about Frostbuehler and Karjan. Here we go, down the split. Pezzi decides to overtake Burgundy. See if we can get a lick of the action. Carvin and Frostbula neck to neck once more on the jump. They do it nicely. Back and forth and back and forth. Carvin taking the lead. Finally, though, Frostbula is right behind him, right on top of his tail. It won't be long. Carvin making a little small mistake, and Frostbula right on top of him. We're going towards the last stretch, and there we go. Carvin will pick this up. Frostbula only slightly slower. As the scores right now is going to be, well, 68 for Carvin. Frostbula just 8 points behind with 60. If he wins not now and Carvin flies out, and he will take the lead. There is not much he is going to need to take over that first place. Bergie off towards a bad start there.
It does look like it's between the two Swedes right now in terms of the championship. Haven't really seen a lot of Bergie. He looked good in warm-up on that, but he hasn't done an awful lot of the delivery of goods so far. What can he do here in round number 4? Maybe just ahead of him, those two fighting seemingly for third place. There is a bronze medal up for grabs, don't forget. 3 of these men will go home with cash and with medals. 1 will go home empty-handed. There is a fight for third as well as a fight for the championship. Frostbula slight mistake with a bounce off the wall. Carvin using that momentum to catch up on it after an early mistake. Halfway down the lap. Carvin just trying to make up that little bit of difference now. Go past the Samsung inner part of the lap. Up towards the top of the hill. Oh, Carvin tripped the barriers on the right-hand side. Huge mistake from him. And Frostbula now will be able to take advantage. Pezzi in second here, and Carvin down in third. And that will have a huge impact on the championship point standings as they stand after that round. Look at that, Carvin 72, Frostbula 70, and Pezzi has now opened up the gap to Bergie to 6 points for third place.
Indeed, a 2-pointer difference here. We'll be moving on towards the next track, and there is the crowd. The Swedes are in full action, and even the Austrians have decided to join us as well. Look at that excitement on their faces. It's amazing, isn't it? They come all the way from Europe, to the center of China. There's panda bears within grasp, and they come here to just cheer on their fellow countrymen.
Here we go. It's my favourite track.
Baz. I wonder why.
Base hunting.
As we are in the warm-up right now, they'll have 2 rounds to, get their bearings straight. And there they are, the players. We have Frostbula there on the left, just getting ready for the party. And most of them are actually playing with a gamepad as well. There's a lot of people out there that are a little bit of a cautious about gamepads. So some people think that gamepads are better. Some people think that keyboards are better. Funnily enough, WCG Finals managed to have 4 gamepad players. Indication much? Yeah, I think so.
I think, the thing is, I go back to the early 90s playing video games in motor racing sims and so on, and I always used keyboards back in the day, but once it got to sort of 2003, it was pretty much frowned upon. You had to use a wheel or a controller, and the main reason for that is that your keyboard only allows you to press one way, left or right, so you have no control over where the actual tyre is aiming or where the angle of deflection into the corners is.
You mean
whereas with a pad and with a wheel, you can determine how much steering input to put into the left and the right curves, which means in theory you can control the car better and therefore take the corners faster and more smoother. With a keyboard, you've either got left or right. That's it. There are no other options. You can't make it 40 degrees or 30 degrees or 20 degrees. You just go left and right. So you scrub off a lot of speed by doing that. And that's why the controllers are actually technically much better for games like this.
I also think it's actually a mental thing, because basically you can play this game with just one hand. You can use the arrow keys, and that is basically it if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
If you have both hands on the controller, it will give you that. It will give some purpose to the other hand.
But what you'll see as well is when people use a controller, they've got a smooth turning surface, which these guys have. If someone uses a keyboard, you'll see them stabbing all the time, trying to get the car around the corners, and that's what's scrubbing the speed off. So, technically speaking, it is much better to use either a wheel or using a control pad that's got an analog stick on it, and that's why, because you can decide the deflection of the turn into a turn whereas with keys, you can't do that. You have to stab away at it. It's the same with acceleration as well, and brake for that matter. When you've got analog controls, you can decide how much brake to have and how much acceleration to have. Whereas with keys, again, you've got just on accelerator or off the accelerator, and brake either on or off. That's it. So it does make a big difference. Not so much in Trackmania, admittedly, but more so in some of the hardcore sims. Who knows? We might even get some Codemasters F1 in here next year. If so, I'm retiring from taking up Formula 1. We are underway on Baz 2 for the third race and the first round. Take us away, man.
As Baz 2, the score's currently 47 to Spacey. 41 to Berge, 72 to Karjan, and 70 to Frostbuller. Karjan only 2 points in the lead. The initial track is already showing that Karjan and Frostbuller are most likely gonna, take the initiative in this one, as the Norwegian and the Austrian players are nowhere to be found. Frostbuller and Karjan once again neck to neck. These players, they practice with one another. They play with one another constantly. And when you play with somebody, you generally become just as good as the other person. And it's exactly shown right here, as Karjan and Frostbuller are almost a mirror match. It's quite amazing as we're towards the track right now. Karjan still taking the lead. Frostbuller making a small mistake early on the jump. Perfectly done, no problem there. On towards the glass, towards the final bit. Karjan taking 10 points, Frostbuller with 6. And so right now, Karjan will take the lead with 6. Frostbuller with 76, Pezzi at 50, and Berge at 45. The battle for first and second and third and fourth is still pretty much alive.
Getting a drop on the Forsen early on. Really clipped that middle pillar. Now, huge mistake from Karjan. That is absolutely terrible for him. What a massive blow. And he's down and out in fourth place here, and this could be a huge chance for Frostbuller. And he can now grab the win here. Who knows? We might have championship time on. And, no point in following Karjan anymore. Frostbuller is out in the lead. Has to make this jump, though. In fact, he's not out in the lead. He's made a mistake as well. So, would you believe it? The two Swedes have both crashed on Baz 2 in the second round. And now Pezzi and Berge have a chance to really clock up some points here. It's massive for Berge in this race, because if he can win this and bring back the third place by 4 points, then Pezzi would be in trouble as far as the bronze is concerned. That's their battle at the moment, and who knows, if they can hang on, they might even get back into the gold picture. Down towards the end of the lap, Berge wins his first race of the day. Pezzi second, Frostbuller third, and Karjan fourth. The gap doesn't change that much, just 5 points now, thanks to that third and fourth place from the two Swedes. Pezzi closes up a little, 56, and Berge now only a point behind in fourth place.
It's important to know that Frostbuller only gained a one point advantage over that last game. If he hadn't crashed, he would have taken the lead, and he would have been ahead by now. As another lap underway, Karjan still in the lead with 85, Frostbuller with 80, as he with 56, and a 1 point difference with Berge. The battle is still open. It's going to be a whole lot closer than we expected, even though there's technically, two groups playing at this point. As Frostbuller takes the lead, I think the last those additional points gave him the little bit of the little push he needed, as he is far ahead of Karjan right now. And is racing ahead. Nobody to be seen behind him, as Karjan is trying to close in, but he's not having too much luck. Frostbuller is pretty much perfected at this round, unless he makes a big mistake, and he's going to be just fine. And Karjan almost misses the jump, actually. That would have been wrong. And the last bit comes in. Frostbuller hits it. Whoa! Pezzi is not going to finish. Oh, he's going to reset. He's going to try to go in. He won't have time. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Oh, he's going to get the 3 points just in time. That was too close for comfort.
Well, it was very close, and as well, it was huge, because look at the scoreboard now. 91 plays 90, Karjan Frostbuller, but more importantly for third, Berge 59, Pezzi 59, and if he hadn't made it over the line in time, he would not have even got the 3 points that he should have got for fourth place, and would have been 3 behind Berge. Here we go then, round 4. What an amazing final we're having. 2 groups, one going for gold, one going for bronze. It's the two Swedes who undoubtedly are going to be crowned champions here, but which one? Karjan in 4th place right now. Frost Buehler back in 3rd. Suddenly, Pezzi and Berge are looking a bit better here. Both striking for 3rd, of course, and that bronze medal. It would mean so much to all of them. And unfortunately, I have to say, they've all raced brilliantly, and yet someone has to go home empty-handed. Such is the way. Karjan sitting back in 4th place right now. Any mistake though, and he will capitalise. Frost Buehler is 3rd at the moment, challenging for 2nd. He needs those extra points. We haven't seen a change of leader since the very first round of the very first race. No one has led other than Karjan, but it's about to change, I feel. Frost Buehler nicks 2nd place and will now take over at the top of the championship with 100 points.
On a completely different note, Berge is starting to take it away on Pezzi. 2 points behind him. This could get interesting. That was a very important race right there. Frost Buehler now 6 points ahead of Karjan, and could be continuing. If he continues on this line of play, and we will be looking at him as at the grand final. As Berge, however, decided to go for 1st place right now. If he managed to actually pull this one off and get his 10 points, and he's pretty much set for life, although Frost Buehler is not going to have any of it, and takes the lead. Karjan thinks the same, and it's really a fight for the 10 points right now. Berge messes up slightly, as Karjan and Frost Buehler are pretty much mirror players right here. It's like watching twins. It's quite amazing. Karjan and Frost Buehler right on top of each other. Berge is no longer part of the party. As the two Swedes are going neck to neck. One moment the Frost Buehler is ahead, then it's Karjan. Frost Buehler is slightly ahead now and he's gaining ground. Karjan slowly getting behind, but going over the last bit shortly. Frost Buehler, oh! Karjan goes away. Berge and even Pezzi is going to be heading this, and Frost Buehler is going to get the full points. Berge is going to get 6. Pezzi is going to get 4, and Karjan. 3 points for him. This is not looking good for him right now.
Yeah, mate. He's led since the opening round of the opening race until 2 rounds ago, and somehow has now got a 13-point deficit to make up, and Frost Buehler is 4 round wins away from taking championship gold here at the World Cyber Games Grand Finals in Chengdu. We're going to have another warm-up here on the 4th mat,
2 round
track, and then we'll get underway. Wow, what an amazing set of rounds, Matt.
Indeed, and look at that face of Frost Buehler. He is completely concentrated on this, and he knows he knows he wants to win. He came out here paying for his entire trip himself, his hotel himself, and if he manages to win here, then that is just saying, you know, guys, I may not have qualified officially in Sweden, but I am the best in the world. And that, my friends, is a statement to behold. And Karjan, he was in the lead for such a long time, and there he is. It might be stress he's on the stage right now, and he's been in the player area for so long, and it's finally here in this final, the most important event of the year when it comes to Trackmania. Maybe the pressure is getting to him.
Well, I don't know. He won 6 or 7 of the first 10 races and looked pretty good for it, I have to say. He was on top in most of the races, wasn't really headed. Frost Buehler had a very poor start, but has slowly closed the gap up, and now leads by an astonishing 13 points. There's Berge, who's currently sitting in 3rd place. He's 4 clear of Pezzi, and because of the way Trackmania works in the point system, those two really are fighting over 3rd place in the championship, but they also seem to be fighting for 3rd place in each race, and that's why those points differences of 4 and 3 just being 1 point mean that 4-point gap is actually quite a big gap as far as bronze is concerned. It only takes one of them to snatch a win, and this man on your screen right now could be right back in it.
On another note, he's halfway there. As warm-up rounds are continuing, we're ready there. Well, the player's not ready to go just yet. They'll be resetting shortly. Yeah, there we go. Berge just retired, so we'll be good lucking and have funning very, very shortly. WCG 09 Race 1, and this could potentially be the last map. If Frost Buehler wins 4 in a row now, then he has it in his pocket.
Might not happen that way, of course.
Of course not.
But you're right, he is 4 wins away from the championship, and we are underway then. Well, actually not quite.
Nope, we're warming up
still.
still.
In warm-up mode. Let's not get caught out like that again. Slap red on the back of the head. Last couple of seconds. I didn't mean literally. And here we go.
You did ask for it.
We are about to get underway. Frost Bueller then with that 13-point lead. All he really needs to do as well, a bit like Jensen Button in a way, he has almost no problem just finishing second to Karjan in the race because he's got enough in the bag almost now to just sit there and play it cool and cake. It's Karjan that needs to go out there and win every race now.
It can still happen. That's the big problem.
We are in race 1, round 1 of race 4. Lots of little jumps on this one. Bergie slightly stronger here than he was in the previous 3. And he's challenging Karjan early on. And guess what? Frost Bueller has been wiped out in turn 4. And we've already lost 1. These 3 very close to getting back 2. Because Pezzi's been dropped now as well. And Karjan's got a break here because Frost Bueller is down in 4th. And he leads. So that gap could come down very quickly indeed. Bergie now trying to make the lead. Just about managed to make that very tricky turn. Much tighter, much more technical this track. And Karjan now slightly ahead of Bergie. Lost a little bit of time now as they come down underneath the bridge, down towards the finish line. Karjan wins. Bergie's second. And Frost Bueller has finished 4th. Pezzi in 3rd. And look at what it does to the gap. 113 plays 107, the gap down to 6. And Bergie has now stretched his lead over Pezzi to 6 points also.
It's quite amazing what is going on here. The game is still completely open. Lap number 2. As Karjan already takes the lead, Frost Bueller needs to start pulling his weight here if he wants to start winning this game. But he is already in the back, and I'm under an impression that this is not his track at all. Karjan racing ahead. Pezzi now right behind him. Where is Bergie? He can't be far away. No, it's Frost Bueller trying to come in. Pezzi just slightly messes up and races for the gap. Where is Bergie? Bergie is nowhere to be seen. As Karjan just eases ahead, Frost Bueller seems to be in his play again. And he managed to hold on. He did not mess up. Maybe he just needed a 3rd warm-up round. Maybe that is what was going on there. Karjan, though, full of confidence, racing ahead, not having any trouble. And there they go, racing down the stretch as Karjan, having gamer face on, trying to race ahead. Karjan is almost at the last stretch. Here we go. And comes first, Frost Bueller second. And the gap closes even more. It's getting closer and closer. I believe they're almost not tied. Frost Bueller 119, Karjan 117. Bergie and Pezzi, though, 80 and 75. It's getting closer and closer by the second.
So yes, 2 points in it for the championship gold, 5 in it for bronze. And we are getting closer to that magical number of 150. Frost Bueller is 3 wins away almost, just a little over 3 wins away. Pezzi, we haven't seen out front, we've only seen him win 1 race so far. And is currently leading the way from Karjan in second. Bergie 3rd, Frost Bueller 4th. Bergie now taking the lead. Small mistake from Pezzi. Another little mistake from Karjan as well, who's now dropped back to 4th. Frost Bueller, remember, leads by 2 points. Now making a charge for the front here. It's the bronze medal protagonist though that lead the way. Bergie in front. Frost Bueller second. Pezzi now 3rd. Halfway round. Now through this very tricky section underneath the bridge and down towards the start finish line. Frost Bueller stole the win away from Bergie, and that is massive for the championship leader. Pezzi's 3rd, Karjan and disappointed 4th, and the gap goes out to 9, and Bergie is also looking good for bronze right now. He's 7 clear.
Indeed it is. A couple more rounds to go. Frost Bueller, he's only 21 points away. That's a potential 3 laps more. Karjan, however, needs at least 5. Oh, no, actually 4. They're once again right on top of one another. Frost Bueller should have this right now, as Bergie is actually going ahead and decides, you know what? You guys may have been running this show for so far. It's time for my time in the spotlight. As the spotlight didn't shine that long, as he managed to drive out towards the side and not take it very well. The Swedes are right on top of his tail, though. Oh, Bergie messes up. There we go. Frostbuller and Karjan once again in first, and it's really once again back-to-back play as Frostbuller has to bite his lip in order to get this forward. As Frostbuller is right on top of Karjan. It's going through down the side. This is incredibly close. We're going through the last stretch. Who's going to be able to Frostbuller? No, he's not going to be able to make it. Pezzy takes up third as Karjan takes the full 10 points. This is going to be close.
Yep, but as I said before, Frostbuller knows that he's got a little bit of a gap here. He knows he can afford a couple of second places and still win this thing. 135, just 15 tantalising points away from claiming a gold medal at the World Cyber Games 2009 in Chengdu, China. Off we go again. Frostbuller leads this one. Bergie's had a much better run of it on this particular track. Oh, as I said that, commentator's curse, he clipped a barrier and has dropped to fourth. Pezzy in third. Karjan leading. Frostbuller in second. Just playing a watching brief. They're like the Button and Barrichello show right now. It's bronze all over the place, except these guys are Swedes. Karjan out front. Right, Frostbuller in second. I always want to say Ferris Bueller for some reason, but it is Frostbuller in second. Karjan out. Oh, massive mistake from Karjan. He's even flipped it. That'll cause a reset, and surely now Frostbuller has got this one in the bag. Oh, would you believe it? Unbelievable. Frostbuller wins. Pezzy is second. I don't even know if Karjan can finish here. He's not going to be able to finish, is he? This is going to be close. 3, 2, oh! Just managed the 3 points. But the damage is done. Frostbuller needs a second place in the next round. It doesn't matter what Karjan does because he has a 12-point lead. Bergie looking good for third because he has a 6-point advantage over Pezzy, and the bronze will be headed back towards Bergie. So, one more round is all we need, and we are going to another track. And thank the Lord, because, well, it wouldn't be right, would it, to finish it all off on the last one. So we're off to Korea 2, and wouldn't you believe it, that man on your screen is at championship point in Trackmania. 5 points required. All he needs is a second place, and it won't matter what that man on your screen does. He has to win. He just has to go out there and win the race. He also knows he needs to win the next one and hope that Frostbuller can't get him, but that's not going to happen either, because unless he crashes, Frostbuller could actually, in theory, finish last in both the next 2 races and still take the championship.
Indeed they are. Bergie and Pezzy, meanwhile, are still for both of them possible to get that third. It's still going back and forth on their side. Frostbuller needs to either crash in one race or come in last in one and then crash again in the second one.
It's unlikely.
It's very unlikely. But as we've seen before, stranger things happen to people that are under a lot of stress. It could happen. It's not unlikely. It's not likely.
Well, if you think we've had nearly 20 rounds already, and not one of the players has failed to finish. We've had a couple of close ones, Pezzy
very
once,
close ones,
and
yes.
with Karjan once, both by a second. It seems to me that 4 players over 20 rounds, that's 80 rounds of driving. No one's not finished yet. It's unlikely to happen yet. Here we go then. We're in warm-up mode right now, and these guys are just going to go for their second set of warm-ups. You can see them on your screen. Fully concentrated here. And Frostbuller from Sweden has the chance to give Sweden their first gold medal of the World Cyber Games 2009. We've already seen China win 1 gold. We've already seen Korea win 1 gold. Now we're going to get a third nation joining them at the top of the leaderboard. Remember, the most golds at the World Cyber Games for any one country wins the grand final trophy, the big gold statue that was won last year by Korea. It's been won multiple times by Korea. It's also been won by Holland in the past and by the USA.
Represent.
I thought you'd like that one.
Yes, the wonderful trophy we saw spinning on the screen several times already.
Indeed.
Yes. It's an interesting thing, really. Where did it come from, anyway?
What do you mean?
The trophy.
The trophy is the trophy.
Oh, what was it there at the first WCG in Korea in
I don't
2001?
think it was, actually. I don't think it was at the very first one.
Well, since
it's
Singapore or
it's
something
certainly
like that.
been there since Singapore, yeah. Definitely since Singapore.
All right, we're ready to go on the
3
way.
seconds to go, and we'll be underway in this first race, the first round. And is this the moment that Frost Bueller is going to be crowned world champion for Trackmania at the 2009 WCG Grand Finals in Chengdu? The last final, the last race, and the last match of the evening. We've got the weekend still to come, and Frost Bueller immediately out front with his teammate alongside. Kyan's there. He knows he doesn't have to win this one, doesn't have to make any mistakes, and he will be safely home in second place to claim championship. Oh, but it's all gone wrong. Bergie now takes second place, and what do you know? Frost Bueller has blown his chances now of taking the championship in at least this race, and may still have a little bit of work to do in the next one. Still third, not out of contention just yet. Kyan, all he had to do was go and win this race. He couldn't worry about whatever his teammate would do, and that's why you see the 12-point deficit on the screen. Bergie looking very good for bronze right now too. Strange really, Pezzi had a much stronger start to this championship, but he's nailed off towards the end. Frost Bueller still trying to catch up now. Was that Frost Bueller in second? It wasn't, and Kyan over the line wins. Bergie second, Frost Bueller third, Pezzi a long way behind in fourth place, but it won't matter. And there it is, he moves to championship point, and he has to wrap it up at the next one. All he has to do is finish here, and he will win and move over the 150 mark. Frost Bueller on 149, 143 for Kyan, and Bergie also almost certainly will now claim bronze.
It's interesting to note, to be quite honest, Bergie, if he runs off the track, although he's still doing quite nice, Pezzi seems to have fallen back. Frost Bueller is trying to wrap this up with a 10-pointer as he's going straight ahead. Dangerous though. If he takes too much risk, and he could be doing that right now, and if he bounces off, and he could be in a lot of trouble, and DNF would be a possibility. I'm hoping for his case that it's not going to happen, and he's looking very, very confident right now, and he's going for it. This could be it right here, as Kyan is right behind him. This is going to be not close at all if Frost Bueller keeps it up like this. Kyan is trying to go down the middle, going for those 10 points. Oh, he missed the...
Wow!
He actually missed the checkpoint.
It won't matter.
It's not going to happen. Kyan goes ahead, but it's not going to happen because he's not going to be able to have a time. Frost Bueller's going to go over to finish. There we go. It's all over. Frost Bueller wins.
So Frost Bueller wins, and Kyan also crossed the 150 mark. I don't believe that makes him the champion as well, but the rankings suggest that Kyan and Frost Bueller are finalists together somehow.
They're 1 and 2.
They are 1 and 2.
Yes.
They've both gone over the 150 mark. Now, does that mean that we're going to get a runoff between the two of them? Bergie is definitely third in bronze, no doubt about that. But right now, the score rankings, Kyan in first, Frost Bueller second. Interesting.
It could be that they're so close together that they're actually going to continue on. I don't even think the production thing knows what's going on here as well. And
not sure. We're going to have to.
Yeah, it's a good game because it was a bug. It was interesting because Kyan actually went through the checkpoint.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
We are going to continue on.
We are going to continue on, and this is going to be the race-off. It's going to be Kyan versus Frost Bueller. Forget the others really, because the points won't count. Pezzi is also in there, but it doesn't really matter because he's just racing for pride more than anything else right now. Here comes Frost Bueller. Kyan just behind. And does that mean that Kyan can have a chance at the gold? We believe it does. Now down towards the end of the lap, and it will be Kyan that wins, and Frost Bueller in second. And Pezzi actually won the race, but it won't make any difference to him. And there it is, Kyan is crowned your champion after a race-off, after both players crossed the 150 line. Kyan is the world champion for the World Cyber Games 2009, and will you believe it, he led all the way, then got overtaken, Frostbuehler looked like he was going to cream him and finish it all off. All he needed was a second place. He didn't get it, and that cost him big time because he now goes home with a silver. And Bergie does pick up the bronze.
Indeed, both players went to 150 in the same lap. A fight off happened right there, and Karjan just wrapped it up, making him the world champion of Trackmania here at the WCG finals in Chengdu.
Indeed. Well, we do carry on. The admin has actually said, good game, Karjan, continue through second and third place, please, because actually these guys won't actually claim 150 until they finish the whole of the races. So although Karjan has finished on your screen, he is the champion. And we're now down to Frostbuehler finishing second. He's in the finalist mode, so he will claim second place. Then the battle is just over who finishes third. And you can't see it at home right now because we're not showing it. We have no control over not showing you the pictures, but we can tell you Frostbuehler has come into second place. Bergie now will race off against Pezzi.
I think it just sank into Karjan that he's actually won. That is, I don't think he actually quite realizes what is going on there.
He does, he knows. He knows he's won. And let's move on then. Matches tomorrow. We don't know who's playing who just yet. The games are still being finished here in Chengdu. But we will have Counter-Strike, the last 16. We'll have Dungeon & Fighter from the grand final. Caron 3D also for the final. We'll also have the AMD WCG Challenge for Dungeon & Fighter, as well as StarCraft and Warcraft 3, all tomorrow during the day here from Chengdu in China. I've been Paul Renard-Chello, and alongside me, Matt Eastbeck-Hoving. You've been watching Trackmania, and are still watching Trackmania, amazingly, because they popped us back in. Not quite sure why, but alright, we'll go with it. Frostbuehler still going on for second place, not sure why, because he has claimed second place. Well, I'm a little confused by why they're making them finish, but it shouldn't make any difference really. He has done more than enough to finish second, that's for sure. There it is. Frostbuehler wins the second place. So, confirmed in silver, GG, and Bergie will claim third, although Pezzi has actually moved up into third. So, does that now mean Bergie claims third place because he was, or do we now have to wait for these two to carry on and play? Got a feeling, weird feeling, we have to wait for these two to go through and get to 150.
It does appear to be the case. We'll be switching map. They're both 30 points away, just about, from that third place, and in all honesty, that third place is important to the championship. But we'll have to see whether or not the Frostbuehler and Karjan will be taking place in this. No, it doesn't appear to be the case. It's going to be Bergie and Pez. There's Frostbuehler. He came all the way up from Sweden. He paid for his own trip. He paid for his own hotel, and he has come in as second at the World Cyber Games. It's quite amazing. Bergie and Pezzi, meanwhile, are going to try to fight it out for a third. We'll be continuing to stream this to find out who is going to come in as the third place for the World Cyber Games. So we're in warm-up now for what is most likely going to be the last track. And the crowd is still quite ecstatic about the whole Trackmania thing.
I'm not surprised. I think the rules suck, frankly.
I don't think actually this was in the rules.
No, I don't think it was either.
No.
The fact is, it was first to 150. We got that. We did that. That's no problem. And then Frostbuehler, even though he couldn't be caught for second, still had to race for it. Odd. He also lost the entire championship, even though he ended up with more points than Karjan did. So I'm kind of confused as to why he didn't get to win. But they then, because they both crossed the 150 mark at the same time, they then came down to what effectively, after 30 rounds of racing, came down to a race-off on one that I think that's wrong. But okay, fine, that's the rules of WCG, so we go with it. But to then carry on and try and find another third place man after what really Bergie should be third, because he was third all the way through. He was third at the end of the championship. But for some reason, they've made them carry on racing. Now, I get the fact that now we get a true idea as to who's better between these two, but do we? Because actually, it then means a mockery of the last 30 rounds. So I'm not quite sure why we're still doing this, but nevertheless we are. And Bergie's out front right now. We're still in warm-up 2. and we'll carry on until these two hit 150. Presumably, if they both hit 150 in the same race as well, we'll have another race off. So why don't we just have one race off at the start and decide who won?
Good point. Absolutely good point. I'm sure that Frost Will and Bergie agree with you 100% right there as well. I'll call it interesting for a lack of better words.
Indeed. Safaron now is going to be the next map, next track, and it's Pezzi versus Bergie. Just for third place. We already know the champion. We already know second. Karjan is the champion, although, as I said, I don't really understand why. Osbuda was ahead on points. Pezzi currently leading this one, comfortably by the looks of things. We can't see. Oh, now we can see Bergie because that was a mistake by Pezzi. And Bergie blasts through, back up into the lead. I think what I'm trying to say is that it would be like Jensen Button winning the World Championship, and then they carry on racing at the next race to find out who finishes second, and then do another race after that to find out who finishes third. I don't think that's how they do it. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. So Bergie wins. Another 10 points for him. Pezzi now falling behind here as Bergie moves on to 126 points. 3 wins would do it for him.
In all honesty, though,
Pezzi said as well. I mean, I don't understand this.
Why do you make me race against this guy just now? And yeah, I have to agree that I don't agree with these rules as well, but that's how it is.
Yeah,
there's nothing we can do. They won't. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to be under review after this.
I think what's key is that the players didn't know these were the rules either.
No,
which is disappointing, and they have changed the qualifiers as well. So difficult and confusing for us, difficult and confusing for you at home watching, and also difficult and confusing for the players. And I don't know. This is
different.
I think that's the best way of leaving it there. Bergie stretching out to try and claim his bronze medal, which I think is rightfully his anyway. And I don't know, Pezzi seemingly, because you're not seeing an awful lot on the screen right now, because you're watching Bergie. It would be nice to go back to the game because he's just finished another race and claimed another 10 points. But seemingly we're not going to do that either. There we go, we get the end of the race. He moves to 136, Pezzi on 129. And the gap is growing out to 7 points now. So Bergie very close to claiming bronze and putting us out of our misery.
We're not looking too happy about it either. And, they're going to go ahead and go for another race. We could have potentially Bergie doing a misjump, but that could cost him right here. 136 versus 129. Pezzi in the lead. But then again, it's 1v2, so in this case, Bergie would win 6 points by default if he manages to finish. With Pezzi going for the 10, that would not have that much impact on the race in general. The 3 to 4 system is in place exactly for that reason. If you have more racers taking part in the actual competition, that means that they can actually have impact on the first and the second place. That's the whole point why they're in the why the points are being distributed just like that. And with only 2 racers on the track, it really takes away that important part of the race. And Pezzi doesn't seem to care anymore. There he goes off crosses the line. Bergie right behind him, and scores 10 points, and Bergie with 6.
Yep. Bergie moves on to 142, Pezzi to 139.
Bergie could be on match point.
And if Bergie wins this race, he will be finishing third overall and claiming the bronze medal here at the WCG 2009 finals. If he finishes second, however, well, we'll go to a race-off because they'll both finish on 150 in the same race, regardless of where they finish, which is why this is making a mockery of the rules. But I'm going to stop moaning about it. Pezzi leads, but it won't matter. If Bergie can claim victory here, he will be the bronze medalist. If Pezzi wins, then they will have one more race, which will be pointless, and then they'll go on to have a race-off. Oh, mistake from Pezzi. And Berge retakes the lead. I know you can't see this is why I'm commentating it for you. Finally, you get it back on your screen. And Berge out front now and seemingly invincible for the bronze medal. Pezzi knows this is done, really. He knew it was done ages ago, frankly. He's been fourth best all the way through. And Berge, who relentlessly caught him up through the different races, will claim the bronze medal. And there it is, confirmation that Berge will now go into what is the final listing. And I guess we're going to have another race now because Pezzi can still get to 150, but Berge, if he finishes ahead, will win. Yeah, we do get an why.
Yeah, we'll have to review this one.
The bashing you had was me bashing my head against the floor.
I'm lost for words.
So, Berge finished third, but hasn't finished third because he's a finalist and therefore needs to just trundle around the track to claim third.
Apparently.
Because he has to. And I'm not sure, if Pezzi wins this, he goes up at 150. What does it mean then? They both have a race off again? I don't think so. I hope not. Berge deserves to have third, and he's done it twice now. Well, he's won that one anyway, so hopefully that's it. And GG, says Kayan. He's been set up there for an extra 20 minutes, and there we go. Finally, Kayan wins. Frostbuehler in second, and Berge in third.
Yeah.
And that's the end of Trackmania.
The two Swedes in number 1 and 2. Kayan puts a crown in his career. But what kind of crown?
His Swedish friends are already up on the stage handing in the flag. And they have dominated this, no problem whatsoever. The Norwegians came, they saw, they got conquered, so did the Austrian. And the Swedes not only grab a gold medal, they also grab a silver, which puts them top of the pile so far here at WCG.
So it does.
They are out in front. That's how it works.
That's a good point, actually.
If they're tied on golds, it goes to silvers. They currently have one of those.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the very first time in WCG history that is the case for Sweden.
Maybe. They are on top of the world, literally and figuratively. Your champion for Trackmania is Kayan from Sweden, as if you didn't already know. So, the World Timer Games 2009 Grand Final in Chengdu, China continues tomorrow. They're happy. He's very happy. He is the champion of the World Timer Games 2009. He can officially call himself World Champion. Great to have on the CV. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Trackmania. I know it felt at times like a complete Formula 1 season in one evening, and frankly, it felt that way to us too. We did have some great racing though, all joking aside, not least by that man there who was fast, he was furious, and he was frenetic, but he didn't win in the end. He takes second place. It will cover his travel expenses and some. And there's Berge, congratulating his second place opponent. He picks up the bronze medal for Norway. I know that Jonas BSL Viking's up there taking pictures of him as well. He's the only Norwegian here representing Norway in any games. The fact that they're on the medal table says a lot. They already have a bronze in the bag. We have already had 3 of our finals. That's what they're chasing, the World Timer Games trophy. And currently, Sweden have their grubby little paws on it with a gold and a silver. That's it from us, Paul Rhino Challenge and Matt A-Spec Hoving signing out for the evening. We'll see you tomorrow live from Chengdu, China for the World Timer Games 2009 Grand Final.